Hello, hello, hello. What's up, everybody? Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are here again. It is Wednesday. What's up? What's up? We're a little late getting started. It's October 6th, and we're here for the next installment, the next stream. Really excited. Welcome. Drop in the chat if you want to say hello. I've got that open here, and yeah, today we're gonna use Procreate, and we're gonna use the animation assistant in the software, and just some good old hand lettering, and we're gonna create the animated GIF. Good enough. So that's gonna be a really fun thing that we're gonna do. I've been excited about getting this GIF out there, and then I'll show you at the end how I'll put that GIF through Procreate right to my Giphy page, my Giphy artist page. And yeah, we'll check in on all those things. We've done a couple of these, so we're excited to do another one. So today, it's good enough. So yeah, if you're joining the stream, give us a subscribe, right? Like today, what's going on? Jump in the chat, say what's up. And we're going to be doing some animation, but like really simple animation. We're creating a GIF, so that's going to be fun. So I played with this so y'all can see. I put together this idea. I was trying to work on this hand style and challenging myself to use not the brush with the outlines, which I love using, it's fun, but to just do it with a regular everyday single stroke brush, right? Like not really needing the pressure of the iPad, you know, because consistency is key with this stuff, and it's hard to be consistent with the brush. It takes a lot of strokes and cleaning and correcting. So yeah, so we have this to play with, and I thought, you know, let me use my sketch to get things going. So here we're gonna play with that today. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take this and just lighten it some. I have this good enough hand lettering sketch that I put together ahead of time. I'm excited that I did that ahead of time, and now I'm going to use it as a guide to use a really nice brush on our layer above to make this good enough GIF happen. So here we go. All right, bam. And then we're going to switch over to the animation assistant shortly after, and I'm going to put all of my active layers inside of that animation assistant, you know, frame by frame. We're going to make this kind of googly, you know, squishy, kind of fun GIF thing. I really like making GIFs like that. They're really easy to do. I'm inspired by Route 66 motel signs, right? Southwestern United States, you know, no vacancy, no vacancy. Circus, circus, circus. Yeah, you get it, you get it. I know it's circus, circus. I got it. All right, so here we go. We're gonna pop open now, and I wanna use, like I said, my everyday round brush. And this is like my little palette of brushes of things I like to use in the work that I'm making right now, including some Procreate standards, right? Ones that are just like fantastic brushes, and then a couple of custom ones. So, all right, let's head into it. Everyday round brush, good, feeling good about it. And I want to think about like a colorway that I want to play with here today. And like, it's sometimes fun to use the harmony wheel, right? You can see I've got a tetratic color set up here. You can tap that and you can get all these color rules. And if you're just starting with color, or if you're a color nerd, you should like really try to just play with these and know that these are here for you. Good color science to make things happen. So let's see. Let's try like a split complement for now. So split complement's a triangular type of thing. So what it does is it looks at its complement, right? So here's the complement. You can see the direct opposite on the wheel. So you spin this around, you're always going to get the direct opposite of that on the wheel. Fantastic. So I like gold, and you see gold goes real nice against that blue that's there, right? Good sports teams are complementary colors. But here's a split, right? A split says, all right, I'll take the complement and I'll take the two colors adjacent to it. So we've got like this light blue and the yellow, and then we've got this kind of purplish blue with the yellow as well. And these are fun, right? You can see analogous colors or colors that are next to each other, right? Triadic colors are a perfect triangular layout. They're like an extreme split complement. The tetratic is a square, right? You can go on from here. You can add as many colors as there are as geometric shapes that interconnect things, and it looks super like Illuminati, but it's just showing you a demonstration, really simple logic of good color science. So anyhow, I like looking at this if I'm not necessarily inspired by like a specific palette that's connected to like a theme. You know what I mean? If I was looking for a palette that was Vincent van Gogh or Art Deco or something like that, you know, I would want to make sure that like I was focused on looking at those from a lens of, how do we say it, like a cultural lens. This is a purely scientific color lens. And I know, right, it's not that objective, but okay. Shh, Mike, too much talking about color. Let's make some fun stuff here. All right. So Procreate has like the 2-color bank like Photoshop does and most software does that you can paint and draw in. So yeah, we're going to just kind of try and load that up ahead of time. So I like the gold that I have here, and then I'm going to click the pink, and you'll see it'll rearrange to configure to it. But I like the complement that was a split complement that was like right about here. Or you know what? We're going to keep it simple today. We're going to go, yeah. I'm going to keep the colors analogous on this one. Also, once we're done, we're going to be able to like try this out in a profound set of ways. In fact, I'm going to go here and make this kind of orangey. You'll see. Haha, I have a plan. All right, so we'll start with this orange color and get our brush to a good size. Let's just test and see what we got here. No, it's too skinny. That's more the pencil size. Yeah, we might need to go full size on this. And let's see how this goes, right? So I'm going to use this sketch, this previous drawing that I made as a guide for doing what I'm trying to do here. That's really the important part. And yeah, right, like we're in a production mode right now, so we should be doing what we need to do to make production as beautiful as possible. Okay, way too thick. So this is a single line brush, so it doesn't matter, meaning a single weight. It's not affected by Apple Pencil's pressure. I want it clean and consistent, so that's it. All right, here we go. Okay, so that first part of that, I like that. That looks real nice, real clean. You can see the speed I moved was really good to get that kind of line. Nice. All right, and remember, this GIF is about being good enough, right? Like, good enough. Not over the top, amazing, perfect, right? Where it costs you. It's good enough to be accepted, right? Here we are. We'll flow. Yeah, I should try and get that in one stroke. This might actually be too thick. Let's see. I may have to. Huh. Okay. Not bad, right? I got the guide, but we're going off the guide. We're not sticking with the exact layout there. So, y'all, I'm doing some hand lettering. I've got the iPad up. We're doing a good enough GIF, and we're going to repaint this lettering 4 times and have it Google and goggle and move and stuff like that. We're going to create a background for it as well. So if you're just joining, what's up? If you're a follower, say what's up in the chat. You can totally drop a hey, and that's a me, Mikey-O. Would love to hear what y'all are thinking, or if there's questions or anything like that. And what this stream is really doing is going through iPad. Mikey here, I've been a teacher 20 years now, and I've been an artist just the same amount of time. And yeah, I've learned a lot of tricks along the way, and I've made a ton of mistakes. And yeah, I'm happy to share. I'm excited to see folks go, hey, I can do this, because I love that feeling too, and I want to share that with you and y'all. And I'm here in front of my super art wall. This is my art wall of some of my favorite folks, things that I own, a lot of originals, prints as well. When I talk about prints, I'm talking about like this Shepherd Ferry here is a poster, right? It's a limited poster, but it is a reproduction. But like this right here, I'm in my way. There we go. Bam. That is a lithograph that I made of the Lone Ranger. So that was fun. I took a trip to Switzerland and got to work in an amazing print shop. And that's where I made that. So, all right, let's get this D going here. Nope. Ain't it? Okay, let's see. Cool. All right. And like I said, like I'm going to be drawing this over and over and over again, several times, and that's going to give it the feel of like the animation. But really, what I'm also doing is like practicing. So I'm essentially taking my practice strokes and I'm putting it here, right? Now, mind you, I sketch practiced before and did it here. I did it with the iPad. Normally, I do it on some paper, right? Like I love to take some paper and like draw up some notes and things like that all day. But here I went for it like this. I thought that'd be fun to do for the stream, was to do a good enough GIF. So here we are. Okay, I love this E because it's got so many fun curls, right? And the geometry of it is really nice. I really like that letter. I was excited. I had to like search for that E. The G I have is like, it's good enough. But the E on this one is poppin'. Yeah, I love that. I really love that. All right, let's get through this enough here. So I got to zoom in somewhat, and this is what gives me the control. All right. So I need to, yes, go off of guide here somewhat, because the brush I have now is like pretty thick, and there's no way I'd be able to do those letters without sacrificing the fun interior shapes. Oy vey. All right, so I went a little bit extra on that ascender line, right? That vertical line that's in the H that I have italicized there. I was a little bit overzealous. That's okay. But I try to do as many letters as I can in a single stroke. That's a long time ago when I lived in New York. I had the pleasure to go to an auto mechanics class while I was in high school. I was in another classroom. I was doing paste up mechanic graphic design, like old school commercial art, and with glue and razor blades and cameras. But then down the hall was this, which is why we went, was this auto repair and auto mechanics area. And in the body shop where the paint room was, they had this dude come in. God, I couldn't even remember his name. But he looked like he stepped off of a Harley Davidson that had ridden across country. And he pulled out this leather case of beautiful, long-haired brushes. And he taught the class how to pinstripe and how to letter on doors for trucks and for custom paint jobs and stuff like that. And like, you have this room full of students who are learning auto body repair. Mind you, this is 1996. And in walks this guy, right? And like is intimidating as get out. And he paints the most beautiful, graceful letters that I have ever seen. And like, this is why our, at the time, our production teacher, our graphic design teacher, took us to see this, was because of what that gentleman was doing. And one of the takeaways was, you got to do as many letter forms as you can in one stroke, because like when you stop and start and when you breathe, people see it. So he talked about controlling breath and thinking about your strokes and your breath and all that stuff, and aligning all those things, trying to think about them flowing in unison. And once you achieve that, you were really doing something extraordinary with lettering, right? With your body and stuff. Super cool. That's an idea that I think connects to martial arts and so many other things with performance, and movement, human action and kinesis. All right, let's see. Okay, I'm gonna stop there because I'm tired of redoing that G. I feel like if I do it again, it's gonna be terrible. So yeah, that's not good either, is it? Let's see. All right, no. Oy vey. Okay. I just ordered. No way, man. All right. That's good for now. Yeah, we're gonna stick with that for now. All right, and then let's get that in there. Okay. All right. So we got the base layer down, which is fun. Really doing the thing. And then what we're going to do next is we're going to take our secondary color, that red, okay, and I'm going to go a little bit darker on the red. Make it a little more brick color, less like cartoon fire engine. And we're going to make a layer that we're going to then slide below layer 6 there. Okay. And this is going to be our backup. And I'll show you how the backup goes. This is, we're doing this all by hand. Normally I would, this is giving me like some anxiety because I would be sitting with a vector tool right now trying to do this. So this is wonderful to challenge myself to do hand lettering with the bitmap tool, right? The raster pixel tool, which is Procreate, right? Versus say Illustrator or another iPad-based vector program, Sketchbook, all those kinds of things. All right. Next here, so we're now working on the layer below. So you can see here, layer 6 is highlighted. Layer 5 is where we just did our business, right? But layer 6 is where we want to go. So we're going to keep the everyday round brush on, and we're going to make it bigger, okay? And now what we're going to do is we're going to zoom in and start to make like backing for the letter. And I like to work backwards like this because if I'm not getting that center stroke perfect, then I need to base everything off of that, right? You can even see my logo, right? It's like, I really like that stroke in the center. That is typography, right? But this is the same rule applies here to our hand lettering. All right, so you can see it's significantly bigger than what we have. And what we're doing here now is we're trying to come up with, we're going to fill all this, right? Is like, what is a comfortable backing for this letter, right? This is really fall looking. So try and rip that curve, keep it consistent. You can see it's a little woozy, right? And that's fine. That's like exactly kind of what I want to have going on here, okay? And yeah, that's all good. So, in thinking also about that our animation is coming is really interesting because animation and layers, the frames and the layers work hand in hand in this software. So right now I've got all these, the backing for that. Those are 2 frames. So if I were to go to the gear right now and turn on canvas pane, you'll see animation assist. That's where we want to go. We'll tap that to start. And then up comes frames. So what that does is that shows all of the frames with the eyeball open or visible frames that are in the layers palette here, right? Or in the case of not eyeballs, but check marks. So you can see my underdrawing is there still. So like that actually showed up as a frame. And those frames are permanent, right? Unless I remove them. So you can see I shut off the good enough, but the frame didn't go away, right? That is set up so that way, because these things are linked, you can add more art, but as you go. But like when you first start and you turn it on and off, it's going to take any visible frame and then throw it to the animation frames, right? So let's see here. I was actually curious. Let's see if I turn off animation assist and that goes away. What happens if I turn it back on? Okay, all right. So it still spit out the same amount of frames regardless. So once you do it once, it establishes, oh, okay, well, that the user of Procreate wanted to have those frames, so we'll make them. Haha. All right. But in the case here now of like going in between the layers and the frames, right, we can see we can navigate these different frames, but there's no art in that first frame, which used to have my white line art. All right. So if I'm in here, what I can do, let's see, is it, nope, not there. I can tap this, and then here you can, on the frame, you can have the delete option. You can see it's the 3rd from the top. Right? There's other things in there, which we'll see. But right now we have the 2 active layers, but these are going to be one thing, right? Like we're going to take good enough and make it into one thing, right? One layer. So just wanted you to see that like what we're doing is impacting that. So my plan right now, I think is I'm going to make the good enough drawing 4 times and then 4 backings and then bring that in. And I think that's going to be the way. All right. You with me? Cool. Good. All right. So we're going to turn animation assist off because we don't need it, not yet. And we're going to continue with the work of doing the backing of these letters, right? And I'm just trying to like coast the brush along the edge here to give me, I'll fill all that in, right? I don't have to worry about everything getting done. See, if I turn all this off, you'll see there's some gaps and stuff like that. That's all right because there's stuff that's hidden by the orange pixels, and that's going to make it so that when I flatten this artwork, you'll never see that stuff. You don't have to worry about it. Okay, nice. So you see how I added that backing to it? So now we have this secondary color, which instantly on typography makes it pop right out. And since this is going to be a GIF sticker, which has a transparent background, that's really the main key of a sticker versus a traditional GIF. GIFs are in squares, right? And they can have transparent backgrounds, but that's what a sticker is, right? So I guess then you could say that a sticker is a subset of a GIF. Ha 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 ha. Yes, you're 100% right. All right, let's get this stuff filled in. And again, trying to add this backing. Cool. I just take it slow. I mean, I do want those to touch the, yep. Just again, no rush. And I'm not using, I just ordered like the slip tips, excuse me, for the pencil, because yeah, I really feel like I'm drawing on ice skates here. Sometimes it's tough, but I mean, it's cool. I'm drawing actually with like my shoulder and my elbow, which is really the way you want to draw. So if you think about your elbow and your shoulder joints, right, and how you hold the pencil, we're used to doing the wrist stuff, right? But because I'm zoomed in this much, my hand has to travel a far distance. My wrist can't stretch that far, so I'm not going to like use the limited range of my wrist to try and stretch. That's just going to be terrible. So what I'm doing here is I'm trying to strengthen my shoulder and my elbow, so I have good drawing strength in those areas. So like y'all, you should try and draw if you can, like using your shoulder, like on a put piece of paper on the wall and draw like that. Like I'm telling you, like that's going to help your game out. It's going to look terrible, but it's going to give you all this downstream. Like I'm telling you, that works that way. Okay, oh, kind of breathe there for a second. Just trying to avoid the side as well. Excuse me. Woo. All right. So I don't know if you saw that, but I was starting to get a little pinched. If you paint off to the side here, that black line, that's my boundary of my artboard. So I don't want to get too tight on that side. So what we'll do here is, instead of merging these layers, because I'm not ready yet, is if you take this layer, this one below it or above, either way, and you drag it on top, it makes a group. And groups are dope, okay? Because then I can take the group and use the selection arrow, and I can move around like everything. So let's just be a little careful that it gets a little more centered. Cool, and that'll give me a little more pixel space to paint that red on the exclamation better, right? Going forward in the future. And I think I'm just gonna shrink this down a touch, okay? Yeah, there's like, it's going to be a GIF, so it's going to be on the screen. It'll be tiny. There's no need to, yeah. So, all right, couple things. So adding this backing here with the color allows us to create the nice contrast with the lettering. So here's the thing, right? GIFs are going to be little postage stamp size things. So like this needs to read at this size, right? Or maybe even smaller. So what's the point in which you can't read this anymore? I can still read it. That's great. That's a positive. That's a plus, love. So that is a good sign that your lettering is thick enough, meaning that the line weight of the stroke weight of the lettering is good. And having any kind of backing or any sort of shadow, something to help it stand out. Even a shape, a container is good. But because this is a sticker, we want to be as die cut or as shape cut, right, custom shape cut as possible, right? That's what you really want to make happen. Okay, so frame one is done. Whew. Wow, Mike, this is a long one. That's all good. That's all right. We're going to keep rocking and rolling here. So, all right, here's what we'll do. Normally, I like to have layers and play with their transparency, so that way I could trace them upon each other. But actually, it occurred to me here, the animation assistant lets you do that. So we're going to start the animation assistant and turn it on and off as we need it, so we can keep drawing. This is so we can do the good enough, right? I'm just going to do the good enough for 3 more frames. I'm going to now I'm going to Henry Ford my job, meaning I'm going to just do the one job over, because what Henry Ford discovered in that type of labor practice was that you got good at it as you went on if you did one job. You also got bored, but there was a peak time where you could rock stuff out. So you switch jobs when you reach that peak time, and you can kind of keep the ebb and flow moving, right? Which is great. So animation assist is on, and here's why we love animation assist. So down at the bottom, you can see on the bottom right, it says add frame. So if I tap add frame, you'll see good enough mutes 40%. It went down its transparency. I can see the grid through the space now. So what this is telling me, Procreate, is, hey, we're doing onion skinning. And onion skinning is a tracing method that animation people used to do. They used to take and put paper through their fingers so that they can look back and forth, right? And a lot of animations were done on tissue paper or transparent paper that you could see through nicely, tracing paper, vellum, right? These are things that artists did back in the day that sped up production, because if paper is, you can't see it, well then I'm guessing what's happening on the next thing. Okay, cool. So here we're going to use this so we're not guessing, all right? What we're going to do is, let's go back to that first frame, put on the color sampler and recapture that orange. Well, bummer. Well, it's all right. I had the 2 colors saved in my thing, and I did that so I would be organized. All right. So I've got orange and my red backing again. So let's get the orange in the forefront. All right, I've got my colors. I'm feeling good about that. Let's now get the brush back to, let's see if we can just get it as close as possible. We're in that new frame. Okay, I went off screen there a little bit, but I'm not doing this perfectly. I'm trying to get it so it's a little bit off, and you're going to see why. Because we want this to live and move, right? And one of the great things about old school animation is how they would totally not have the precision of the onion skin stuff, and they would have to sometimes guess what was coming up. But that added a vibration to the animation that folks appreciated. Actually, we didn't mind it. Now we need stuff to be super movies, crystal. But back then they would use the jitter to their advantage. Okay. And here, let me show you what I mean. So if I hit play now, well, hang on, let me go to settings. I'm going to lower the frames because it's too few frames for what we have. But you can see the good is already starting to gyrate. And that's going to be cool. If we do that 3-4 frames, that's going to be good enough, good enough, good enough, good enough. And that's what we want. Okay, so we're off to a good start. And we're just like we said, we're going to do the inner work of good enough, the orange part, and then we're going to come back in, switch off animation assistant, use the layers again, and then finish the backing, right? I've been using a all-in-one brush for this, but I'm finding that I have better control over what I want to do here when I do it this way. So I'm trying it this way to see how I do. Not as clean, right? The other way is super clean because all the lines are perfect, but this is, I like the human feel. And look, I want to progress at this and get better and tighter and cleaner and better. So I'm practicing, and that's it. Okay, let's do the enough. Oh, my ham-handedness there got in the way. All right, that's way too big on this one, so. Okay. Dope. I'll fix that U. All right. Good enough. Sweet. Okay, we're going to do it again. We're going to hit add frame, bloop, and it's going to now onion skin a thrice time. Okay, so this is our third frame, And then we want to make it so that this is, you know, in line with what we're doing here. Okay, one more. Okay, swoop it, loop it, double boop it. All right, I'm got to get that H. I don't know. We'll get it. It's like as I go through this, I'm learning like a little bit at a time and all that good stuff. So, yeah. So say what's up, y'all. If you're joining us here, looks like we got one solid viewer. What's up, solid viewer? You are with me. Say hello, right? Say what's up in the chat if you can. Appreciate you. You got questions? Anything you want to holler about? All that good stuff. Okay, we're in that fourth frame now. We're about to rock it and lock it. All right. So again, just working on this orange inner part, and then we're gonna step it up with the outer part. And I really like how Procreate lets us go in between the animation assistant. It took a second to kind of just like recognize that, and if you're a casual user, that might not be something that's like immediately apparent. So it's a good tip. I'm glad that was something I was able to intuitively find. So kudos to the Procreate team for making us go okay and opening up that possibility. That's really neat. I think that's what makes great software, is when it is flexible. Man, oh man. Oh, it always shows up there. Okay, and then there's the last. Sweet. Okay, so now we don't have backing on all of them, but let's play it back now and see. Whoa, that's super fast. Let's get it down from 15 to something slower. Okay. See how it does have like a little bit of a snapping to it? Yeah. All right, we got to analyze here. Let's pause it. Let's see what it looks like in this frame, that last frame. It's quite a jump. So I think we need like one in-betweener frame, a fifth, just to make it do what it needs to do, I feel. Okay. All right, let's add it. It's too much, and I can see that first frame right there is the faintest. I want to try and keep that like along that one. Okay. I'm trying to get it to match the faintest frame. I'm trying hard to see that. It might be hard to see when there's like 7 stacks of oranges on here, but I don't know if you can tell, but like there's a really faint frame in there. It's like the lightest of them all, and I'm able to track that, so I'm trying to get as close to that as I can. Really, that was not good. Okay. And And this should help with that snapping, like where it's at the end, like where it's jumping, bumping. That's not what we want to have happen. Okay. I know this word certainly got kind of bumped around because of this spacing change. The brush is thicker than I'd like to have it, but okay, good enough. Good enough. We're gonna do that one again. That one was like, whoa. Sweet. Okay, so we added now that other frame. Cool. All right, that's a little less snappy, which is like the point. All right, now what we need to do is add the backing to each of these frames. So what we want to do is, I don't think we need to turn Animation Assistant off here, but yeah, we're gonna. I'm just curious. Let's see. If we turn it off and then turn it on. Same deal. All right, that's actually good because that holds our frame structure together. Okay, so that's what we want. We're going to want a 5-frame animation, so we're actually going to get it back to that. We're going to squash down with all the backings. You'll see. It's going to be great. Haha. All right. So the problem is we're seeing all this stuff at once. All right. So we'll start with one at a time. We'll go with this one. We'll give it the layer behind, and then we'll just switch over to our red. Okay, so now, right, like we're Henry Fording it. We're going to use, do one job at a time, and we get better at it as it goes. Okay. All right. Yeah, like literally I'm like tracing the outside of the letter, and then it's overspray is what's given me, oh, that's a good technique. So I'm visibly, I have this big brush, so what I'm doing is I'm visibly looking at I'm tracing like the outer outline of it, and because it then offset paints like another 60 pixels outward, it's just going to keep that consistency a whole lot better. I wasn't aiming for anything last time. Now I'm aiming for something, and I feel like, oh, I got control. But I hope those the grip tips come, and they're good investment. I've heard good things, so I've heard that's like the difference maker. Just because, yeah, like drawing on glass is a hell of a lot different than drawing on paper or canvas or a wall. Definitely. Tooth. The tooth of a surface is like, it matters. You try to drag a brush across a high tooth area and watch your brush fall apart. Or put down paint in a way that's erratic. Holy moly woly, this is great. I just feel like I can do this all day. I mean, I'm looking at tracing the outline of the orange, and as I'm doing it, I'm laying down really nice looking paint. Great. Okay. All right. So as we're going to go through this, so you can see before I had a group, right? So I could group these again. And what this does is like, you don't have to merge the layers. It just keeps them organized in a way that's like they're singular, right? So, all right, next step, we'll turn on that. We'll turn off the previous one. And now let's do it for frame 3. We've got 3 more frames to go. Okay, so again, good enough. There we go. I'm tracing the outline of, bummer. When I do it that way, I'm like, I can rip it. Here we go. I don't need that so perfect because it all fills in. Another thing I'm doing is like when I get into an area where I know, okay, that red's going to be close enough, rather than let it sit where it looks like it's unfinished, or it's creating a tangent. I've been exploring artistic tangents lately, like image tangents, not like somebody talking about impressionism for 45 minutes and we just want them to stop talking. Not that kind of tangent. It's where things in an image like touch weirdly, and we have a preference, is the point, is that like we as people have a preference for things not having tangents. Like when we cut the feet off of people in photographs, that's actually like a weird tangent, because it's like, there's certain things, certain rules, certain perceptions we have as people, right? This is getting into like the psychology of images that make us say certain things or feel certain things, right? So as artists, we have to explore that stuff and know what it's all about if we want to use those powers for creative purposes. So understanding that a tangent is something that will catch the eye, and it could be distracting. It could be, tangents can make a piece like all of a sudden people are focused on, like a typo is a tangent because it's the only thing out of place, right? And we've been taught to appreciate that kind of tangent. All right, that one's done. So here we'll drag this in, make it a layer group, close it up, brand new frame, turn on good enough here, back at it, okay. But like a tangent is like something like that where it gets chopped on the edge, okay. Or when like type touches in a weird way, you know what I'm saying? When letters touch too close, those are tangents. Or when someone takes a picture and like 3 people are standing stacked, you don't see them staggered, you see them stacked. It's like, wait, what the heck's going on? You want to move to like see and get the depth perception of something. So like tangents can affect things 2-dimensionally and 3-dimensionally. You can use tangents to create illusions as well. Sometimes they'll use street signs and stuff. Like even if somebody were to take those kids, like those street safety signs that they have that are in the shape of little kids holding flags, like a cartoon kid, it glows or reflects and all that stuff. That is and they put that in the road somewhat. That's creating a tangential vector, right? Like it's making you feel like something's about to jump in the way, and like that's on purpose. That's to make you slow down. So, from a traffic perspective, we can modify behavior by doing those sorts of things. So there's something to this perception that us artists really need to sit and master and at least have like a fundamental understanding of. Everybody here should look up Gestalt. Here, I'll put it in the chat here. Pow, right? If you Google Gestalt and take a look at like what that is, you're going to see some fun things like illusions. Like, is it 2 faces or is it a cup? We don't know, right? So that is a really fun thing to investigate, is Gestalt Principles. And it's where psychologists have done research, right? Studies with in clinic and also in university tests and public tests, internet research, all that stuff, getting all this data to show that we have certain preferences when it comes to perception. Trying to read with the line. Hey, okay, I don't really need to do that because it's so interior. See what I mean? Like right here now, there's that little pocket, like this little pocket right here. That's a little tangent because it like captures a little bit of something, and it's like, all right, just get rid of that, because it creates a contrast, a certain contrast between the background and the red. So yeah, I just inadvertently now created an anomaly right there. Right? So what shall I do? Like that. That just helps. There's enough that I could just get rid of that. And sometimes it's too much. Sometimes it's like, whoa, that's too much. And agreed. But here I would say that's fine. We could zap that up, and I'm not going to feel a way about it. Okay, again. Again. Okay. Shazam. Now that I have this technique, I'm not getting slowed up by thinking about edges here. It's great. Okay. All right, last one, friends. Last one, last backing, and then we'll get this animated. Okay, y'all are champions for sticking with. Okay, make sure I'm the right layer. Yes, good. Okay. Okay, we'll get all that interior done, right? And the interior shapes of spaces of a typeface, right, or a letter form is called a counter or a bowl. I think there's also bowls. It's funny that typography uses so many craft terms from other trades. It's very very much understood by and named, right, not by scientists but by everyday people who worked at newspapers and printing presses and all that stuff over the years, over the centuries. All right, we're getting there. Okay. Okay, sweet. So we now have another layer group. Oh, bummer. We'll have to fix those. Here we go. So pick it up, drop it on top of, and there we go. Now it's a layer group. So let's make sure that all of these layer groups are active that we want to have in the animation, because those are going to be our 5 frames. And then we'll go back to the gear, and then we'll say animation assist on. Haha. And there they all are now, right? All of our layer groups have been crunched down. So we have the ability to still control various aspects of the layers, but we've made them now like a frame with a few layers built into them. I love that thing right there, is that we can make that happen. So here, let's see now what it looks like. 5 frames per second. Let's see what it looks like. Good enough. All right. There is something we can do. It's still kind of snapping a little bit. There we go. This is called ping pong. So all animated GIFs have these 3 settings built in: loop over and over, right? end the last frame, start the first one. So it's got to be a continuous, nice chopped loop tile. And then ping pong, which goes forward and backward and forward and backward. It's like if you had somebody dancing, they could dance forward and backwards, and it could be awesome. So I think we'll do that for here. Yeah, we'll go 4 frames. All right, cool. And then there's like one last thing I want to do here, and it involves the everyday round brush. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to the orange, and I'm going to slide the orange into the center to get like a creamsicle color, almost white, like almost white. I think it is pretty much white. And then I'm going to make this pretty skinny. And what I'm going to do now in each frame is, now that like I did the backing, I'm going to do the inline. Here, I'll show you what I'm talking about. So, oop, wait a minute. Oh, can I not do that? Oh, let's see. Oh, I got to open the layers and do it. Ooh. All right. Yeah, I guess that's fine. I didn't intend to do it this way. That's fine. I was going to just draw like straight on the stuff, but I guess we got to do it this way. All right. So in layer 16 now, I went into like one of the groups, and you gonna let me paint? Yep. Cool. Trying to stay as centered as possible. So I'm effectively drawing the strokes, but like real skinny. You know what I mean? Oh, that's way too many hits. Okay. See how that doesn't touch? That's a tangent. That's a little anomaly. Those are the things we're trying to work on avoiding. Okay. Woohoo. I'm excited to see what if these tips are gonna like truly make my drawing cleaner or not. Probably not. I'm gonna have to still work for it. Cool. Okay, done. Open up the next group. We'll add a frame. Oh, bummer. All right, sorry y'all. We reached the maximum thing here, so I'm just gonna have to flatten these. All right, we're going the old school route here. Flatten. Just all these are gonna get flattened. I think I made this a little too high res. That's okay. I had other plans for it. All right, so we'll close up layers then, and we're back in here. Now we can just draw directly on the frames. So here, we'll do that here. We'll say, trying to do this as cleanly as possible. Again, I'm not perfect. Good enough. Cool. We're doing good. We're doing good. Shout to y'all who have been with us the whole time. Appreciate it. We're doing this is not an easy thing, but it takes a minute to construct. I'm doing our best quick for tutorial's sake. Yeah, cool. All right, we're getting into this now. Doing a lot of stopping and starting, but yeah, I got to learn the mechanics of that one. That G to H transition is a killer. It's a killer. So that's what this is all about, right? Is that like art is a process, right? I've been doing this 20 plus years now. I'm credentialed, educated, experienced for sure. But you can always learn more. That is the beautiful thing about this. You can always learn more. I like to make myself a beginner of something at least once a week. That's what I have time for. Try something out. I try out software. I try coding. I try building some hardware stuff. There's a lot of great stuff. Tried it a different way. I got one more frame to try it again. All right, we're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting there. Getting there. It is so close now. That's what ends up happening is you get ambitious with these and then you realize like, oh, I got to commit to all these frames. Okay, let's stay strong. Stay strong. Stay strong. I'm doing some wild stuff with this text. I'm kind of gave up on being consistent. Now I'm just excited. I'm going to be creating all kinds of anomalies. Made that up. Sweet. All right, let's see what this looks like. Good enough. I love it. All right, good deal, good deal, good deal. Okay, so what we can do here is if we go to crop and resize, we can crop this down some. Okay, and say done. That'll help with the downsizing for the GIF. So let's talk about the GIF part now, okay? So we got the frames, we've got the frame rate, okay? And we got the art, so good enough. So now what we do is we go up to the gear and we go to share and we choose animated GIF from the list down on the bottom, share layers, okay? And this is gonna give us a preview And no, we don't want to upload a 15 megabyte file. No way. So we want to click the web ready button, which you can see like pixelates it some, but it's a sticker, right? And it gives us this alpha threshold item too, that like I keep in around the 20s. Like it depends on how crunchy your edges and stuff you want it to look. So I do it in the 20s, 23 or so, whatever. Sweet. So I like this. It's a 268K. That's really good for yours and my data plan. And then we're going to click over here and go to, oh, that's a bummer. I'm sending it to itself. That makes no sense. All right, so we're going to say animated GIF. Boom. Right. Lower it down. We'll say export because we like those settings. And then we're going to go to Giphy. And there you can see now on Giphy, right? Because I have my iPad turned sideways, it shows it this way. All right, you can see here, it'll fix itself. Yep, good. All right, but back to here. And we don't want to add anything to it. We don't need to crop it or anything like that. We can see it looks good. The edges look nice. I'm pleased. All right, and we'll say good enough, right? And there, it's either share the GIF or we do upload to Giphy. And we'll say, okay, it's going to be a public GIF. And then what Giphy says, like on an artist page, is like, just add the tags of like what you have. So if we have good enough, that should be the tag, right? Or one of the tags. So, but you know, we want it to be good or enough or NUFF, enough, like that. Yeah, like these are the way that people spell things, okay? And here, let's get rid of goo. We don't need that. All right, let's see. And then I'll add me, Wirth. Cool, just for the sake of tracking things, right, associated with me. Cool, all right. So terms of service, we agree. We're done here. And then we'll say upload to Giphy, all right? And then you can see this is my page here, and we'll give it a second here. It'll kind of add itself to the list once it's had a chance to upload properly. And Giphy is going to then approve this. They're going to look at this and go, oh, okay, right? Like, let's see. And they'll look at what it says. You know, they'll check it out for the file size and all that stuff and make sure that it's really good to go. So you can see here we've got the good enough GIF there. I got a couple others that I have done not too long ago. And yeah, it'll when you click on it here, it'll say, oh, pending moderation with the thinking emoji on the bottom. So that means like they're looking at it. They're going to see like, cool, yeah, is it good? All that good stuff like I mentioned. But pretty shortly, I should be able to come back and it will say approved. And then it will look like that, right, with the peace sign saying available on Giphy. And then as you start to use it here, let's go back and then one more time. You can see on the bottom right, it says 72.8K. So that's how many views that the GIF has had so far. So a view is someone searched for something that's related to this in the tags, tapped it, added it to their thing. Story posts and reposts, we can't tell that. But as far as being then used, that's Instagram, Facebook, I guess Snapchat, text, any place a Giphy keyboard or a Giphy GIF can be used, these will show up. So yeah. All right, cool. So I've got 2 happy fall y'alls that I've done. This one's outpacing the other one. Pretty good. That is from the Jewish holidays. That one's doing pretty good, 150K. Ooh, also from the Jewish holidays, 1.3 million. That's a really good one. Okay. 39K. So you can head over to Mike Wirth Art on Giphy, and you can see I've got a ton of GIFs here. You know, I've got a lot of things I use all the time, things that are like specific to my neck of the woods. Art, cities, things like that, right? Culture, location. Okay, so got a lot of good stuff. So you know, y'all give me a follow on Giphy. But here, check this out. If we go to the eye, we can see, right, the total, like your basic stats here. There's a big stats page you can go look at, but my artist page has 149 uploads, soon to be 150 with that other one. So yay, the 150th GIF. You guys did it with me today. I appreciate it. But we're sitting at a nice, cool 43.8 million views, right? So again, a view defined by Giphy is one that adds, right, the GIF to something after it's been searched. And again, it can't account for how many times it's reposted or all that stuff and everything. It's just the initial use, right? Which I think is good. It's a conservative number versus maybe an inflated and questioned stat. So I appreciate that, right? So doing okay, right? 43.8 million views on this, pretty good. And, we'll be doing more GIFs. I love doing the text kind. I've been really trying to practice my hand lettering and mimicking fonts and typography and things like that. That's always fun, always a great challenge. And, I'm always up for like great ideas. What kind of cool things can we be exploring with GIFs? I, of course, think about all the holidays, think about the things like every day that things are doing, right? Like here's a Charlotte crown, right? Like my rendition of our city's official crown logo and neon style. So this one, here's another one, Crown Town Hustler. You can tell it's like one of my first GIFs. 24.1K, right? Pretty good. Queen City, this was a mural that I did that I then remade as a GIF with the neon look to it. So that's a fun one to add. Another fun Charlotte one, right? Felt cute. Might delete later. All good. New post. Lord have mercy. How many people use that one, right? 10K on this Charlotte one. I Heart CLT, 10K. Beer 30 is 7K. Please, 7K. Summertime, 44. CLT 7. Hell yeah, 4.5. Whoa, this is swirly. So this is just one of my original GIFs, like one of my Flowfield jams. 5.1 million. Damn. Not bad. Here's a regular GIF. That one had a problem loading. All right, so I think y'all get the gist here of like what's going on. This was the last part. So I would recommend you guys, go to Giphy Home and like explore what's going on. Sign up. Apply for an artist page. Getting an artist page is not difficult. It just takes, you putting up a bunch of GIFs, and you can go through the process I just went through and put together a couple, 2-3 GIFs, and I think you're going to be like in great shape. So that's a wonderful thing that I totally recommend. So guys, thank you so much for joining us on the good enough journey today of making a GIF. I think we had a good time. We goofed off, but we learned a bunch of stuff. And we got a nice, decent piece out of this here. So I might maybe make this into a t-shirt or something like that. That could be like some fun. So anyway, friends, I'm Mike Wirth. Y'all, I really appreciate you. Thanks for joining me here every Wednesday. Bam, right? Mike Wirth Art. We're going to make something fun, digital art and IRL in real life, right? I'm going to take y'all down to my studio, not the digital studio, and talk about things that I'm doing with paint and spray paint and saws and all sorts of fun stuff. Just having a great time in the studio, being creative, expressing ourselves, elevating our voice, telling our stories, right? Doing all that great stuff. So, friends, I appreciate you so much, and have a wonderful morning in the Eastern United States and the rest of the U.S. as we wake up, and then around the world. Y'all, thank you so much. Appreciate you. Peace. Y'all take care.